So as we start, let's just focus in without changing anything or without doing anything, coming into the breath. So feeling the flow of your breath and just coming into what's going on right now in your body. It's so funny if you go into a meditation class or a yoga nidra or somatics class, like often we come in without the need to change anything. And it's nice to come in. I feel like when we're going to exercise, we know we're going to change a lot of things. We're going to feel different, but let's just take a baseline of being where you are before we actually do anything, of like really just tuning into what it feels like to be in your body. This could be easier if you actually close your eyes. So if closing your eyes is accessible, just take a minute and feel in, like, do you feel upregulated? Do you feel downregulated? Do you feel anxious, depressed, excited, whatever it is? Or a combo platter of all those things. That's usually how it is for me. I'm usually a little bit of everything in different parts of my body. So we can go ahead and open our eyes. And we're actually going to start today. We'll start with our breath that we always start with. Our second start after feeling into our bodies, just reaching out into space and then opening wide, bending your knees or not. Inhale, open, expand, radiate outward like a star. And then on the exhale, softening. Being a star doesn't mean you have to do any extra work other than reach out into space. And then coming back down, connecting to the gravitational pull of the earth. Inhale, open. Radiate away from center, and exhale, coming back down in. So this is a core distal pattern. Here's our core, this whole center area. There's distal out to the edges. Let's just change that to a weight shift, reaching out, coming in, reaching out, coming in. So just finding yourself kind of flat, radiating out in the vertical plane with a weight shift one side and then the other. Right? Like this is almost like our cartwheel prep. Oh, I'm going to get ready to do a cartwheel. Woo! Just side to side. Radiate out, staying in the vertical plane. Then we're going to change it. So we're going to take it crossing, reaching out. So our arm and leg are moving into the front space. Right? We've gone out of the vertical plane and we're moving into the sagittal plane. So here, vertical plane, sagittal, vertical, sagittal, as we move into that front space. Then we're going to do the same thing in the back space, taking it to the back. See if you can touch your foot with your hand. Big weight shift. And then we're just going to easily spiral. These can be very small. So if twisting is painful for you, make it smaller. It doesn't have to be big. It could even just be your head going from side to side. If it feels good, go for the full, more active spiraling. Using your breath. What does it mean to use your breath? It could be inhale one thing, exhale another, or it could just be stay present with your breath. Because I think I'm doing maybe three of the, like 1, 2, 3 on an inhale, and then 1, 2, 3 on an exhale, just noticing when you're ready to inhale or exhale. Oh yeah, I saw Leslie Kaminoff again. And tuning into our breath can just bring us into coherence where our body is working together. So we're not kind of running in 6 different directions, but we're like, we're all working on the same thing together. So we're going to do one more exercise with that. It's just going to be an inhale, expand, and then exhale, coming back in. Inhale, widening, exhale, narrowing, as if you are your lungs. Imagining that your whole body is your set of lungs. Expanding out in the width, in the horizontal, and narrowing back in. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. And inhale, open. And exhale, closed. Then we're going to do the same thing with the up and down. So same ball. You can alternate sides or keep one hand high. We're going to inhale, up. Exhale, down. I'm going to keep alternating. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale down. If your breathing is faster or slower than mine, just go with your own tempo. Then we're going to do one forward and backwards. So I'll just show you from here. We're just going to, as if you have this line moving through the sagittal dimension, breathing out and in, out and in. You could even play with it in that front space or imagine that it's in the front and the back space. And come in. So sometimes we want to be breathing into our belly. Sometimes we're going to be breathing higher up into any of these other areas of our body. Like if we're really contracted and supporting our core, our breath isn't going to go down there so much. It's going to be more up here. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. We want it to go sometimes to each of the areas. Sometimes each place is functional for us. Then we're going to just do a ripple up from our rippling through your spine, undulating through your body, sending this ripple from your feet, through your knees, through your hips, through your chest, through your head. Maybe letting out. A sigh. This doesn't have to be like the hugest movement. It can just be gentle and small. Or if it feels like, oh yeah, I really want to move big, then go for it and move big. But listen to your own body. What is it saying? And some people say, oh, it's saying go back to bed. Maybe that's what you need. Then let's go with our head, initiating with our head. So the last one, when we were going up, down in the sagittal plane, now we're going, we were initiating sort of from the bottom to the top. Now we're initiating from the top to the bottom with this side, Axl Rose, Stevie Wonder, spinal movement. And if you want a little forward, backward in there with the chest, so there's a spiral, go for it. Or however it works, just listening into what feels good in your body. If I really initiate from my head, like I'm hearing the music, it becomes a lot more dancey and it feels really good. There's definitely a lot more flow in my body. If you want flow in your body, you gotta flow, right? You gotta find that fluidity. All right, let's take it down to the floor. Yeah, it's hard to achieve any kind of flow state when you're in a high tension pattern in your body. Flow state is going to come when there's a lot of free flow and low tension. Low tension, but maybe there's like just the right amount to stay like organized in your system, right? So it's working in an efficient way, an efficient, coherent system. I was watching something on YouTube about predators and what they're looking at. And one thing that they said that like people that they decide not to prey on, like people, human predators, criminals, are people that seem organized in their body patterning. When the body patterning is kind of disorganized, that is a key for people to, oh, there's something wrong here. Let me go in and fuck with them or whatever they're going to do, horrible things. So we want to find ways. And when we're coherent in our breathing, when we're working with our flow, less likely to be targeted. Arms out to the sides, back of the hands towards each other. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, back of the hands towards each other, serving the sandwiches to one side, spiraling. Exhale, back of the hands towards each other. Inhale, open it up. Big breathing, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Every minute is a great time to have a relationship with your breath, right? All you gotta do is go, what's going on? Bring some awareness in. And let's take it down to the floor, all the way down. Inhale, stretch and reach it out, get very long. Let's just stretch longer through one side and then the other. So right side elongating and then left side. Whole fascial tensegrity system, getting this nice internal squishing around, right? So we're getting this internal movement and our fascia, which is then also toning our nervous system. What does that mean? That means that we're not going for our biggest stretch in there, but the nervous system is routed out through the fascia. So anytime we're moving the fascia, the nervous system is going to have some movement too. We want that nervous system to have some free flow in that tissue. So it's not just jammed up and stuck against the fascia, but it can move through it and not be inhibited, right? So when we do these kind of stretches, reaching out, elongating from the soles of our feet through our fingertips, one side and the other, we're getting one whole side of our body to stretch out and then the other. Let's open that up into an X, and then the same thing here. So right arm to left leg, release, and then left arm to right leg, just radiate out. One diagonal and then the other. Oh, and then just shake it out, let it go. And we're going to come into this other exercise, which was inhale, open, exhale, bend your knees, inhale, float the arms up, exhale, roll it down, inhale, stretch it out, exhale, roll it up, inhale. When we go to the top, we're going to do jazz hands on top. So you can't see my fingers maybe, but shake it out. So we're just adding awareness to this pattern. Roll it down, inhale, stretch, exhale, inhale, party, celebration on top, exhale, roll it down. Inhale, open, exhale, celebrate, roll it down. Inhale, exhale. Core distal relationship, just waking up the fingers. If you feel like the jazz hands are too much, you could always do something like this, right? Just bringing flow and awareness out to those distal edges. Roll it down, stretch it long, roll it up. Jazz hands, party fingers, roll it down. Inhale, open. Stardust fingers, sparkling stardust all around our bodies. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale, last one. Stretch it out, bending your knees, coming up. Open the arms out, flexed feet. We're going to circle around, but first we'll go side side. One side, lengthen up, and then the other. In these side stretches, let's try to keep our sit bones connected to the floor, get tall through center. Other side, open it up. Side stretch, open, side stretch, open, side stretch, open, circling the whole way around. We're going to take it to the side and then forward to the other side, opening up through the top. Side stretch, forward, surrender, rounding the spine, blossoming open on top, elongating. Sideways. I remember the first time I heard someone say blossom in a yoga class, and I thought, oh my God, this is so stupid. I don't think I can take it. Like, we are not blossoming. And now I like to use it myself. So yeah, I feel like a lot of things that I've been judgmental about in the past, I do them now. So it allows me to soften my judgmentalness by knowing, oh, I bet you that thing you're complaining about right now, that's going to be you in a year or two. So just be aware. We tend to move towards these things. Happens all the time. Let's cross, just a quick cross and spiral, lengthen up and out. Blossom your chest, lungs, and heart open. And then switch legs and switch directions. Same thing. Blossom, open. Letting that lower back and hip get a little bit of a stretch. We're going to do a different version of this. We're going to come back. It's a beautiful, like rainy, foggy day out there. Okay, we're coming back to the first side. We're going to change it a little bit. What we're going to do is we're just going to work with this little bit of spiral. And I'm going to move my knee in a little bit more and then release it out. I'm not trying to see the back of the room right now. What I'm trying to do is get into my hip so that I'm getting that little bit of movement in my sacroiliac, in my piriformis, in my rotators, and just getting a little extra spiral from the bottom to the top. If that doesn't feel good, don't do it. But if it feels okay, go for it. And then let's change it to the other side, same thing. You're just like small stretching, not going for your most massive stretch, but giving your body a chance to. It's interesting, I notice on this side, my leg is more stable. What I wanted to do is have my leg go in and out a little bit so that this femur head is moving in the hip socket and I'm just spiraling against that. So the movement of the femur head is more what I'm going for than the huge spiral in my spine. Good. And then come in. And let's take that down to the floor. And draw your knees in. Let's go with circles, both knees, massaging through your lower back. Feet can be relaxed. And I am going to let my head come off the floor as my knees go away from me. Imagining in those hip sockets, nice greasy synovial fluid, really strong femur bones, anti-hip replacement movement, and change direction, go the other way. Fluid movement, right? We're increasing the fluids, the joint fluid, the synovial fluid in the joint to give us more flow in our body. And then I'm going to do it also with my head on the ground. I'll just change direction a few times. As I do this with my head on the ground, I feel the movement in my lower spine all the way up to my, really into my thoracic spine as well. So my sacrum, my lumbar, my coming into my thoracic is moving. And as that's moving, so is my cervical, right? Just a little bit of movement up in my head and neck. I'm just randomly changing direction whenever I feel like it. And I'm letting my body be really relaxed, not adding tension with this. And then let's open the feet wide and just internally rotate one leg at a time, spiraling in. So yeah, this exercise I've been laying off on because of my knee situation, but my knee is a lot better. So I'm going, and I feel like this is such a good release for your hips and lower back. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. We can also stay on one diagonal. I'm going to do it on this one and just kind of rock around a little bit there, letting yourself massage out that butt cheek, working into the sacroiliac. So I'm working more on the part of me that's touching the floor, getting a release than this front part of me, which is also getting a release, but I'm not so worried about that. Switching it to the other side. This is the knee I have to be more careful with, but I want to get into that hip underneath. Massaging it out, letting the tissue have more differentiation in the muscle fibers, in the fascia, tendon, ligaments, all the stuff, even the bone having more, I want to say, intelligence and density. So when we, and I think that our for adults, part of our lymphatic, the lymphocytes are created in these big bones of our pelvis and our thighs, right? When we're babies, the lymphocytes are created in a lot of the T cell, the B cells, the bone cells are those, and these are detoxifiers, right? They help our lymphatic system detox our body. When we're babies, they're created like throughout our system in all of the bone in the marrow. But as we're older, our systems aren't as fluid, and so they are more in the really big bones of our pelvis and probably our femur heads. Anyway, let's roll from side to side, rolling onto one side and then the other. And so as we're working out and moving our bodies, we can invite in this stronger density in our bones and resilience, right? Also this relationship of our lymphatic system to the bones. And then come in, hands behind your head, cross body movement, one leg reaching long and then the other, lengthen it out. Coming back to the breath. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Contralateral movement. Nervous system loves this cross body movement. This is like the advanced stuff that we can do as humans. And let's change it. Just reach and then flex your feet and point. Reach, flex, point. Again, we're waking up that core distal center to periphery relationship, right? So the feet aren't just these little blobs on the end of our body, but they're awake, alive, and involved in the activity. Last one. And relax. Drop it down. Free up your spine. So really free flow, head, tail. Let's add a theta breath to this. So big inhale. And then flow your body. Oh, just to let you guys know who are in my room, that I am going to be in California the 16th to the 22nd. Helping facilitate this. Oops, hold on. Let me come out of here. Helping facilitate this Leslie Kaminoff workshop at the Alembic, but also visiting my friend Michael Taft and his Bambino and wife, who are awesome people. So I am not certain what's going to happen with my class schedule. I might just get up and teach them anyway, but probably I'll drop some of them. And I think I'm traveling on both Saturdays. So no, I'm not traveling the second Saturday. I'll let you know. Anyway, let's take our pelvis up in the air. Let's take the arms up in the air at the same time. Let yourself rock back and forth. Feel the relationship into your upper traps, into your shoulders as you're rocking. Let's just circle wrists and hands. Yeah, I can feel some tightness over the back of my right wrist. Change direction, finding that flow, right? Like you are a beautiful octopus in the sea, just dancing with the water. Rocking the water inside of your body and imagining that the water outside of your body is also helping you maintain this fluid relationship. Then you can open your arms out and let's make circles with the pelvis, shifting your weight from foot to foot, big or small, whatever feels good in your body. And change direction, go the other way. So again, this is massaging out my neck and shoulders as I'm working my back, my hamstrings, and my glutes. And then coming in, rolling it down through your spine, all the way down to the bottom. At the bottom, arch, lift your waist off the floor so you could slide your hand underneath there and then flatten it out. Curl on the exhale. You're going to inhale, push with your legs, chest goes to chin. Exhale, pull knees away from your head. Roll it down through your spine all the way to the bottom. On the bottom, inhale, arch your back, stick out your chest and your butt. Exhale, flatten, curl, roll it up. Inhale, push with your legs. Try to feel the inner outer edges of your foot pushing. Exhale, pull, lengthen your whole back. Roll it down through your spine all the way to the floor. At the bottom, arch, massaging through your sacrum. Exhale, curl, connecting the ribs, rolling it up through your spine. Inhale, push back. Exhale, pull forward, roll it down vertebra by vertebra, all the way to the floor. Inhale, arch, roll through your back. Exhale, curl, connect the ribs, roll it up. Inhale, top the ribs, let this open up. Exhale, pull, they connect back in, roll it down through your spine. Inhale, arch, let the rib cage flare. Exhale, connect, roll it up through your spine. Inhale, push back, let it flare open again. Exhale, pull forward, roll it down, come all the way in. Take both knees together and just massage out your lower back. Breathe deep down into your belly now. So you're letting it release, right? So when we're doing a lot of the work, when we're engaged and it might not be the time we're breathing the deepest. So make sure that when you come back and you're in a relaxed place, you're able to breathe down into your belly, change direction. So all the breathing people that I know, nobody says always just breathe into one place. Like we're not always just belly breathing. We're not always just up breathing or middle breathing. It's like, it's a combo platter and it shifts depending on what we're doing, like what's going to be more effective for us. Anyway, so we want to have capacity to breathe in all of these areas to really fill up, which is one reason why in the beginning I wanted to do that breathing up, down, side, side, forward, backward, just so that it can come into our mind. The more we can relate to the 3 dimensions, the more we can feel what's actually happening in our body. All right, I wanted to do one more thing here. We're going to press up, interlace your hands behind your back, walk your shoulders closer together. If possible, push the floor away. Feel your whole foot connected to the floor. Here, just pick up your toes and then push your toes down, lift your heels, heels down. Lift up your toes, toes down, heels off the floor, heels down. Toes lift, toes drop, heels up, heels down. Toes lift, toes drop, heels up, heels down. Toes lift, toes drop, heels lift, heels down, toes lift, toes drop, heels down, toes, heels, and stay low. And you're going to inhale, knees open wide, exhale, knees closed. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Last one. Inhale, open, come into center, open the arms, roll, 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 roll all the way down. Take a happy baby pose. Free flow in your baby, let yourself stretch in any way that you need to. Yeah, so you can take advantage of this baby time to get some hamstring stretching, inner thigh stretching, or just lower back, rounding your spine. Let it be playful. Breathe. So if I kind of just curl a little bit here, letting my butt peel off the floor and come back, I get a very different stretch in my back. And since my hamstrings are super open, I need to actually stretch the tissue in my back more, right? Like it's not, sometimes people are like in that, oh, flat back forward. It's like, that is not a problem. What I need is this tissue to get a rounded stretch. So everyone's a little different, right? Where we're tight is different, where we're loose is different. If it feels good to start taking this into a roll forward and backward, go for it. Yeah, so the other thing that I need in my body is this stretch up here. And it may be different for you. You maybe need to stretch your hamstring. So if you need to be here, forward folding, that's fine, do that. Listen in, feel into your body. And then let's take our hands behind, feet on the floor. You're going to inhale, press it up, and exhale, either all the way back or just down to your butt. Pushing the floor away, swinging back if you can, or just down here. Or shoulders on the floor and you're pressing up and down from there, which we've done a lot of already, but not in this way. Use your breath. Let's go up and stay pulsing, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Take it down. Forward fold. Rounding your spine. And then lengthening your spine. So move back and forth between that curled position and then the lengthened position. And then just free flow your stretch, listening to your body, doing whatever you got to do. You can kind of walk it around. And then coming up, and let's flip over to this exercise that Linda was talking about. We did it in another class. You're going to come up onto your hands and knees. Take one leg out behind you, move forward so you can see one leg out behind you, flex your foot. You're just going to rotate out and in. You can see my hip is opening there, and then it's coming back in. I can try and do it here. I'm doing it with no hip opening. So try it with no hip opening. Do like 4 or 5 that way. And then try it with your hip opening. But try to get it really happening in the hip socket. So we're moving not just out, also in. Here's my stabilized version, and then here's the mobilized version. So maybe by the time you've gone back and forth a few times, just feeling into that, you can come in and shift it to the other leg, reaching out, flexing through your foot. Try it stabilized without that hip going up and down, and then letting the hip lift and lower, and just feel into that. What's going on in your body as you change the version? Go back and forth a few times. So I'm doing like 3 or 4 of one and then the other. Feeling that relationship of your leg all the way into your spine, right? Leg is connecting into your spine through all your fascia and through your psoas and through your skin and through your multiple nerves and all sorts of exciting things connecting us. All right, free up your spine. Let's do some theta breath with this. So add this. I think I was going to do theta before and then I got distracted. So adding the soft hiss with the invitation to really let go and soften. Softening the inner body. Let go of the fear that you might be holding on to in your body. If it feels like you can, you don't have to. If you want to, you can come down onto your elbows. Try this from this other version of quadruped. Ripples and waves through your core, inviting in free flow. So here's an interesting thing. Go ahead and continue on with that. I'll just talk about it for a second. So I was talking to Leslie Kaminoff yesterday, the Breathing Project, wrote the book Yoga Anatomy with Amy Matthews, who's another certified movement analyst like me. And he was talking about the spine, and he was talking about the forces on the spine and how like the vertebrae are doing one thing, but the discs, like the tensions and countertensions, the discs are actually pushing out, right? They're almost like springs. We don't always think of that. Sometimes we think of it, and I think of them as these sort of marshmallow things. I say these marshmallow discs that are supporting the spine, but there is an active pushing away. That's what's giving you the resilience and this capacity to sort of lengthen and soften, is that springy nature of the discs, which are actively pushing out to keep the vertebrae from compressing together. When we move, we're giving those discs a chance to sort of recalibrate where they need to provide support. So we want to have that movement in our spine, giving this information into those little discs. They're pretty big actually in there, depending on where they are in your back. And they really move into the front of your body, or into at least halfway through your body. Like our spine isn't just on our back. It's really that deep core channel that's supporting us, supporting our verticality, supporting our up-downness, Homo erectus. So thinking about that, and then also thinking about all those little intervertebral muscles and ligaments as having this sort of pliancy, and we're made to be like this, right? When we're here, we can balance here in a really good way. And when we start to think of the big 3 structures of bone, our cranium, our rib cage, and our pelvis, and how those interrelate, finding that spinal, those forces that are working to move away and also to come together, right? So we have this. It makes it easier to be in the dynamic alignment of our bodies. That's my big lecture. Let's do some more muscle work. It's not ever just muscle work. We're always working all of it, but let's come in with this idea. I'm going to do a tricep push-up. I'm going to leave my knees on the floor for the push-up. So I'm going to do body in a line, tricep push-up. I'm going to pop off my knees. I'm going to come into a side plank and then back down. Tricep push-up, coming up into a side plank and back. You can do any version of this, or this might be a great time to do something totally different. Listen to your own body. What do you need to work on? And if it hurts, if it's hurting in your joints, go very gently. Couple more. Coming down. Let's just do a regular old cat-cow. You're going to curl your toes under in the arch, tops of the head to the floor in the curl. Toes curl under in the arch, hollow and curl. Arch, giving those discs and vertebra this chance to play in tension and counter tension. Also imagining that down the middle of all of that is your spinal cord, right? Spinal cord is going down the middle, inside the middle of your spinal cord, cerebrospinal fluid going down, coming back up the outside, flushing, taking away, bringing nutrients, removing waste. So when we're moving, we're just helping the system do the work, especially when we can work in these kind of patterns that have this compress, release, right? Or tension, relaxation, tension, relaxation. Natural expansion and contraction of the universe. There's something else I wanted to do. I want to come all the way down onto our bellies on the floor. Bend your knees, let your legs fall from side to side. So as relaxed as possible. And then come in, head on your hands, curl your toes under, push up and down. So you're sending this ripple and wave of movement up and down through your body. Head and neck relaxed, jaw relaxed, pelvis releasing, no extra tension. And then come in, we'll go opposite arm to leg. Inhale up, exhale down. Again, finding that contralateral pattern. Try not to push the floor away with one leg to get the other leg up higher. You're just lengthening and lifting. Take your hands next to your chest, baby cobra, and release. Up, so now we're doing an upper versus lower pattern. Up and release. Up, connect your hands, keep going up. Take it down, use your breath. Inhale, open. Exhale down. Inhale, healing up. Connecting down, healing up. In that up position, engage your butt and then release it. Engage and release, engage and release, and engage and release, and take it down. If you need to push back into a child's pose, go for it. Yeah, I'm still skipping that deep flexion in my knee. So I'm going for this alternative version of just rounding and curling, but you can be in child's pose, finding that three-dimensional breath. And then coming up, let's do this. Let's go down to our elbows. You're going to take your leg up the back, just up and down in that position. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Try to touch all the way down with the top of your foot. 9, 10, so that you're controlling your descent. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then you're going to lift high, bend your knee. Stay parallel for this, pulsing up. Just pulsing like you're poking a hole through the ceiling. Your toe is pointed. Poke a hole up there through the ceiling. Seeing if you can stay parallel for that. And release it down. Switch it to the other side. 15, up and down. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Bend your knee, poke a hole through the ceiling, straight, stay parallel if possible. You might turn out a little bit. If not, if you can, keep it parallel. Pulsing, long spine, breathing. 5 more, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it down. Take your butt back. I'm not going to do that. You can shift from side to side on your butt in your child's pose. I'm going to come onto my back. You can choose. Do what I'm doing. Do what you want to do. I'm going to come onto my back and cross one knee over the other. Yeah, it's not, my knee is still not back to 100%, but it is so much better. Alternating sides if you're doing my stretch. Release, give it a shake. Come onto your backs now if you're not there yet. One leg in, one leg out. Draw your knee into your chest. From here, you're going to open the knee out to the side, and then you're just going to cross midline. So knee is opening to the side. Exhale, cross your midline. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, spiral all the way. Turn and look at that hand. You're going to make a big arm circle looking into the palm of your hand. Chest, lungs, heart opening up. If this hurts in your rotator cuff, make a little chicken wing circle. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Change direction if that feels good. Or the chicken wing version. Rib cage, lungs, heart opening up. Feeling the connection into your fingertips. Core distal relationship. And then come in, you're going to bend the bottom knee and straighten out the top leg. Drawing it in towards you, coming into a stretch that feels like on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 6 or a 7. So you're not going to your most massive stretch. We're going to circle our ankle, circle your foot. Really letting yourself go into plantar flexion and dorsiflexion, which means your foot is either coming up or going down. Change direction. And release, shake it out. So we want our foot to have the strength to push down, but we also want the foot to have the strength to come up, right? I had this sort of revelation in bed last night as I was like trying to get comfortable with my leg and knee. I was like, oh, I need to do more of this action. I need to get more into that flex up, right? This kind of push up. All right, release that leg down, going with the other one. Knee into your chest. Inhale, open, exhale, cross. And when we're working balance on our feet, right, we're working all of that stuff, the side, the forward, backward, kind of circular possibilities. Inhale, open, exhale, cross midline. Inhale, open, exhale, cross, take it over. If the spiral is too much, you could just stay here on your back. So don't feel like you have to go all the way if that's hurting you. Circling the arm, big circle. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Nice gradated rotation through the rotator cuff. That means that your humerus is rotating around into that joint. Change direction, spiraling open. And again, you can use the little arm, but try to get the rib cage and lungs to be moving through that. And then come back in, bend the bottom knee, top leg up, circles with your foot. And oh, I'm dropping bits of dust on my face from my sock, which is lovely. Even though I vacuumed this floor today, right before class. Change direction. And release, shake it out, let it go. Let's come up and we're just going to go across one side and the other. So massaging through one butt cheek, and then the other. And then you're going to spiral open, take it down to the floor, open up, soften, surrender, let go. Inhale, open, exhale, inhale, open. I saw this thing on Twitter today. It was on somebody else's thread, and I can't even remember the article, but it was like, it was about somatic intelligence. And the article was written 20 years ago. And like the somatic intelligence, like from my perspective, somatics are the wisdom of your own body, like going in, listening in, feeling what the experiential qualities of being in your body are, as opposed to looking at it from the outside and saying, oh, it should be like this, or it should be like that, or I don't like this, or I don't like that. But you're going in a very sort of equanimable way, feeling into it. So all these people were writing like, oh, you know, if my shoulder's hurting when I have all this work to do, but then I get it done, my shoulder starts hurting, there's a relationship there. Or, you know, it could be whatever. People are saying different things about this. But in my experience, your body and your mind are the same thing. Two reflections of you existing in this moment in time, right? Every minute of being on this planet in your whole life, you will be in this body. Even if you're having an out-of-body experience, you're having it from your body. So like we need to start to connect in there. So a lot of the somatic work that I'm doing is to feel into that and to allow that wisdom to percolate up to the surface and to let some of the holding, sticky, like tension patterns start to release in a very gentle way. We're not forcing them to stop doing anything. We're giving them the chance to get more fluid. And I hope that the way that I'm teaching exercise is also allowing you to think and feel into your own system with intelligence and receive the information that's in there, not just forcing into your body, forcing it and going, oh, this is what I need to do. Listen deeply. And sometimes the information will come, right? When we take the time. So let's do one more thing here. I'm going to open up into a straddle. I'm going for a pretty small straddle because of my knee issue. You could go bigger, go smaller. If you're feeling tighter, bend your knees a little bit, or elevate your pelvis up on a pillow or anything else. Circling your torso, circling your rib cage over your pelvis. So here we're thinking about those three: cranium, ribs, pelvis, those three big bony structures, all having some freedom as you're circling around. Diaphragm, having some mobility, sliding around over your organ, over and under your organs, right? It's right there in the middle. Change direction, other way. And sometimes your tempo might be different than mine. Listen to your own tempo. I'm a big fan of trying it both ways. Like if somebody says, do it this way and don't do it that way, I usually need to try both ways and see if that actually makes sense to me. Not always. Sometimes I can just listen, but try it out. Like learn from the experience, like the phenomenological experience of being in your body and going, oh yeah, when I do this, this is what's happened. And so many times when people talk to me about their injuries, they'll say, well, you know, I did this one thing. Maybe it's from that. And it's like, oh, there you go. That's what it is, right? So we have the information often in there and we don't always listen. And I'm just as guilty as anyone else. Like I can go to my doctor and go, oh, this is what I think I did. But until I come to that point of really listening in and thinking about it, I don't always know. And that also comes to this idea of letting the fear release out of our body, right? Sometimes we have an injury, and so we've been holding and clenching and trying to protect it. And then suddenly the injury's gone, but we still have the holding pattern of protection. Can we let go of some of that? So let's just do a little more breath. Inviting in the wisdom, letting go of whatever you're ready to let go of, whatever kind of stickiness or holding patterns or tensions that are not serving you, shake them out. Shaking, great for your nervous system. Inhale, great for your lymphatic system. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. It can both give you energy by just shaking it all up, and it can also dissipate stuck, blocked energy or anxious energy. So shaking out can help you create more coherence in your system by releasing some of the stuff that is sticky, blocked, I don't know. Yeah, so sometimes you're shaking like, oh, there's one part of my body that really doesn't want to move. What's you holding on to in there? You could even ask, and then a memory might come up. Oh yeah, that one time I got hit over the head, or somebody did something to me, or I was told something and it made me retreat, right? So much of our coping with being in the world, well, all of it has landed in our bodies. It didn't go out there somewhere. It's here. It's in our own body. It's not somewhere else. So we can integrate it, work through it, compost it, and then like use that intelligence, or we can be like, oh, no. And we're probably doing a combo of both of those things. Shake it, shake it, shake it. See if you can let go of your face, neck, waking up the space around you. And then just big inhale, open. So exhale, coming down to land on the planet. Inhale, open. Inspiration from the heavens. Exhaling, landing down on the ground, feeling the relationship to the ground up through our feet, right? There's also like our body has that dynamic response of rebound. Like we step on the ground, the tissue, and we're moving forward in space. The tissue in our body, our bodies, our human bodies were made to walk and run, right? We're made to do this. And there's a contralateral pattern, even if I'm walking backward. So just try moving forward in space and moving back in space. Sometimes we need to back away from something. Sometimes we need to move towards and embrace something. And you can just use that as an exercise to go, am I ready for this? Can I step into this place? Or maybe not, maybe not, maybe not. And sometimes it's wise. Maybe I need to slow down, back off, and wait for the right moment to step in, right? This thing with time. In the Laban system, time is associated with forward, backward, with the sagittal. Going forward, taking it back. And when we talk about time in Laban, we're not talking about going fast or slow. We're talking about things that speed up or things that slow down when timing shifts. Anyway, that's just a little lesson. I'm going to come in, close this out on the interwebs. If you are out there in the interworld, please buy me a coffee, like, subscribe, share, watch my videos for hours and hours every day.